Welcome to I'd Play That for a Dollar, the internet's premier budget gaming podcast powered by the World 1-1 Podcast Network. I am your host, Larry the Bearded Wonder. Joining me this week are my friends and cohorts, Todd Oxtra.
Yes, I wear the same thing every podcast.
And Chris John.
Same.
You looked so pained by that, Chris. You just had this look of excruciation on your face.
I just took down the magic, didn't I?
And every week we bring you rapid fire roundtable reviews of games that we got our grubby little mitts on for $1 or less, and let you know if they're worth playing for $1 or if we'd rather have our nickel back. So this week, let's dive right in, because Todd's got a game on his list, and the title alone intrigues me, and I want to know more about it. Todd, what you got here?
So The Company Man is a game I actually got a code from the company that actually my buddy Mark secured for me. And it's also available on Steam and Switch, I think other platforms as well. This is a really cool game in regards to the fact that it essentially takes the idea of the corporate ladder and basically battling your way up to be successful and turn it into a 2D side-scrolling platformer, action platformer, because there's combat involved. Essentially, your keyboard is your weapon. So basically use it like kind of in Wanted. Remember that movie Wanted? Where you hit somebody across the face, their tooth flies out. Similar here, but it is based on like a Japanese company. So, but the art's very cartoonish, very stylized, very cool. And it takes that context of corporate culture, and climbing the corporate ladder to be successful, kind of like boss fights and things like that. Like your first battle is you have to take out the intern manager, who basically uses interns as weapons. So like as you're going across the wall, like these interns are just being dropped from the ceiling and explode. Then he's throwing them in the boss battle. He's just throwing them and like at you, and it's very clever and it's very cute. You use coffee to heal yourself. So there's like coffee stands. You heal yourself with coffee. There's also a barista stand where you can buy like other things. You can then buy power-ups and things like that too, which is very cool. Because I was wondering, like, why am I getting money? I mean, that's not my salary, I hope, because it's like in dollars. So it's like, oh, I beat a guy, I got like $2 there. So I mean, and you're basically, like I said, it's very Japanese. So some of the things, it's like, and it's jokey because like the secretaries, they have bad breath, so they breathe fire at their desks. They've got like a guy who's pushing the mail cart, and it's causing fire to come out from him because he's going so fast. Then you've got, well, this is the thing that made me think this is a Japanese culture type of game. There's an old lady with speakers, and she's speaking through. I'm like, is that a Japanese thing where they announce like things through a microphone, like in speakers, like to their employees? Because that's never been a thing at my office before. Very odd. But yeah, so
it is odd, but it sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah, the gameplay is fantastic. It's really good. You end up getting basically get a projectile weapon, like your keyboard gets upgraded for that. Really cool, like I said, good traversal, great animation style, very clever dialogue. Like when you drink coffee, it'll give you like a little quip, almost like a corporate culture, like aside. They've seen maybe something like a teams together, everyone achieves more. Those type of like corporate goofiness that you get. So it's really good. And you've got a mission, obviously, to get up, and you want to be like the best manager ever. Like that's your goal, because you start at the bottom. After the first mission, you get like demoted, so you get sent down to where the interns are, and you got to work yourself way up. I don't want to give away too much more, but I really enjoyed the game quite a bit.
God, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah,
where did you find this one?
So I had seen videos of it on like Nintendo Life. So I'm like, they talked about this game on Nintendo. I'm like, oh, this looks pretty cool. Saw the video. I'm like, wow, this looks really good, because it's hard. There's so many games out there that kind of all look the same. Oh, it's another 2D. It's this, and it's like there's almost too many that it's like and there's not every game gets a demo, so it's very hard to understand if I'm going to spend $16 or $20 on something, or if I spend $16-20 on it and it just goes in my pile of shame because I didn't really enjoy it. So so it was funny because Mark had reached out and he got the code for me. I'm like, oh, I was actually looking forward to this one, because it was funny because he's like, either I can get a code for Rainbow Six Extraction or I can get this. So I'm like, well, and Rainbow Six Extraction is coming out on Game Pass, so don't really need to bother with that. And that was probably a good thing, because I tried that game on Saturday and enough said about that game. Right, Chris?
So apparently there is actually a demo for this on Switch.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, so definitely play the demo. I think you'd all enjoy it.
Downloading that right now.
Yeah,
Because
it's very
I'm
fun.
looking at it and this looks absolutely right up my alley.
Fun. Yeah.
Just in terms of like absurdist humor.
Yeah.
So do we have a winner here? Play this for $1?
I'd play this for $1 and I'll be happy to write the walkthrough.
There we go. That's
a callback.
you don't get to write this walkthrough until you finish the other one though.
That's true.
Unlike oh god damn it. The I'm blanking on the studio name. Who the hell is it that makes Oblivion?
Oblivion? Bethesda.
Yeah. Unlike Bethesda, you actually have to finish one thing before you start the next.
That's true. That's true. You can't. There's no side quests in this game.
So, Chris, what do you got this week?
So this one, another game I got from Amazon Games. It was Tokyo 42. Developer.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, it's developer's name is Smack SMAC Games. Developer. It's a isometric open world shooter, so to speak. And
okay.
in like a kind of cyberpunky kind of world, but
Okay.
but it was unique, but almost has like the art style kind of reminds me of, like, I don't want to say Minecraft, but like the characters are very blocky, but the world also kind of reminds me of Fez, because like you can rotate the world. Is it Fez? You can do that, right?
Yeah.
You can rotate the world to see what else is going on in it, but it's pretty much just like, it is a shooter. The one thing that was just like really confused is like, because there is a story in it, and the story is that your character gets framed for a murder, and then you're talking to a friend, and like the solution that your friend has is you just go on a killing spree. So it's like, how does that make any sense?
Best advice, worst advice? You choose, right? Yeah. What?
That feels like the whole good idea, bad idea thing from Animaniacs back in the day.
My goodness. Bad idea genes. Yeah.
Guess maybe they were thinking about double jeopardy or something. Like, oh, my boy framed. Might as well just start killing people. So yeah, like you get power ups and things like that, like, you know, new weapons and stuff, etc. Apparently, there's a thing about cats in this. I'm not sure what, but you know, you get like a tiny cat as a pet. But the world is very clean and pretty looking. It's not grungy cyberpunk. It's like, yeah, it's just like a clean looking world, and yeah, it was pretty fun from when I got to play, and I think this is something that. Oh, sorry, I forgot. It's $20 right now on Amazon, on Steam, and there's like a you can play multiplayer, I guess it's like a PvP style multiplayer, and yeah, it's pretty fun. I would I think I definitely play this for $1.
When I looked at the video of it, it reminds me of, I mean, I'm old, so if you remember the original Syndicate?
Yeah.
Tiny little like cyber assassins in a world. And this kind of reminds me, because you're very tiny. I mean, but the world's pretty big. And when I was looking at the gameplay, I'm like, the gameplay looks crazy. Like you can like, I mean, I didn't expect you'd be like, right, like there's tanks, and then you can like ride a motorcycle, I guess, too, which I like. That's crazy. Yeah, I like it. That looks neat.
A neat little game.
That sounds like it.
Yeah.
Well, so far we're 2 for 2. What do you think? What place your bets? Do we get a triple crown this time?
Larry, I saw your pick, man, and I think you're just tempting fate. I don't know what you were thinking, and I've got one question for you about your game. Is this the one that has Gary Coleman in it, or is that 2?
No.
Okay.
This is not that. Now,
Okay.
I will tell you, I played Postal Redux or Redux or whatever the hell you want to call it. And so it's a top-down twin stick shooter a la like Hotline Miami kind of feel, except everything color palette wise is dark and muddy and red and looks like trash. And it plays even worse.
Oh.
It is insufferable. You can't tell, like there's really no indication that you're taking damage, which is extremely frustrating considering everybody is shooting at you from all directions always. And you'll get about 70 seconds in and die and go, what the fuck happened? Who killed me? How? And yeah, it's part of me thinks Gary Coleman could have only made this better. That's my gut feeling on this subject here. And there's actually like a campaign mode to it too, but you won't care because you'll never get more than like 2 minutes into a run before you die with no understanding of how or why. It's just that. Now, I will say though, the sprite work is not awful for as small as the sprites are. Like there's some decent animation quality in here, but it just it teeters right on that line of I can't tell if this is good or awful. it really just walks that line. And honestly, this could have been really close to I'd play that for $1, but the problem is the gameplay just feels so. It feels like you're not getting the tactile feedback you need to know what the hell's happening around you because there's so much going on the screen at once. And it's so hard to just visually distinguish what's happening. And it just falls apart as a result. And I was like, man, we were almost there. We're almost there. And it really just kind of made me want to go back and, throw back to about 10 episodes ago, made me want to go back to Mech Rage. Because Mech Rage I actually had a ton of fun with. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that was a twin stick shooter I could get behind. I could tell what the hell was happening. And it was, it was reasonably easily readable. It could have used a few tweaks, but this needed a lot more love. This needed somebody to tell them, okay, before we release this, we need to maybe look at a few of these things. It got really close, honestly, and I'm kind of surprised by that fact. But no, this one requires that Todd hits the Nickelback button.
Oh my goodness, Larry! Just before we get into that, just to let you know they made a Postal film.
They did.
I put a link in there.
I vaguely recall
99
this.
cents on Steam. But now that same company is now up to Postal 4 No Regrets. Which I'm like, they made that in 2018. So Running with Scissors is the developer. I'm like, what are they still making? I don't know. But the fact is that the world of Postal, apparently that's the only game they've ever made. So they make Postal games.
I mean, props to them for being committed and apparently finding an audience for it somewhere to keep the lights on there.
Here you go, Larry. Uncle Sam taught him to shoot, maybe a little too well. Finger on the trigger, loaded bullet. He hit the stage so full of rage and let the world know it.
That's actually kind of really fitting for this one.
Thank goodness. I could read the rest of the lyrics, but, there you go.
I feel like that's just perfect for a Postal game. So yeah, no, we missed the Triple Crown this time, sadly, and it came close though. I if you could find this on like an exceptional sale and you really love twin stick shooters and you want something to just kind of pass a little bit of time with, this could almost be passable. But for the love of God, do not ever pay full price for this. Ever. Like, don't ever pay more than $1 for this.
Really should not even accept this as like a gift or a threat.
You could accept it as a gift and it could be inoffensive. but it's just more than anything, I feel bad for this because they came really close to getting it right. It's those are honestly, I think, the games that hurt the worst, or the ones that were this close and just fucking missed it. And that's Postal Redux. So
there, your aspirations are too high for this game.
I what can I say? I don't like to see somebody fail. I don't want to see you fail. I want to see you do well here.
Right.
You know, even if I don't like you, it's like, look, I may not like you, but I wish you all the best in whatever you do. And, you know, God bless them. You can tell they actually tried.
Yeah.
They just missed, but not by much. So I think this is the closest call I've ever had to make on, you know, yes or no. But yeah, it got nickelbacked. So, but with all that said, we've made the rounds. So let's close up shop and get the hell out of here because I'm hungry. So thank you to all my friends, Chris and Todd, for coming and hanging out with me, and thank you to everybody who tuned in this week to give us a listen. And we'll see you all next time here on I'd Play That for $1, powered by the World 1-1 Podcast Network. Press start to engage your mind.
Bye.
Later.